the most exciting transit of the year, if you ask me. Why? So first, let's talk about Jupiter. So Jupiter is the opposite of Saturn, is a different kind of wisdom, is cultural structures. So, it's not that Jupiter has no structures. It's about like the way in which we're dealing with culture, the way in which we're dealing with education on a social level. So it's the way in which we expand, it's the way in which we grow, it's about knowledge, it's about faith. Uranus, that is connected again with Aquarius. So this year, it's all about Jupiter-Uranus stuff. It's about innovation, it's about new things, it's about expansion, it's about trial and error. Uranus has to do with innovation, change, rebellion, insight, surprises, disruption. It's always a bit difficult when you have transits with Uranus to predict what stuff is, because it's Uranus, sometimes it's new stuff. It's like it's stuff that was not there before. So these two gonna meet exactly on the 21st of April of 2024, 21 degrees of Taurus. So first of all, for Taurus people here, or people that got Sun, Ascendant, Moon in Taurus, this is stronger for you. So there is like a bigger call in terms of expansion, or something that wants to be born, something that wants to be released, that has to take place this year. So this transit takes place every 14 years. It doesn't happen every other week, okay? And we're using this as a collective evolution. It's like we are setting the new tone for the 14 years to come. So there is something in art, there is something in culture that we want to change. We're talking about Taurus. So finance, agriculture, food production. This has been a topic of last year that I said, like, inflection is going to go up there. Buying house is going to be very hard. Like grain and food is going to go up. And people are like, no, inflation is a good thing. We saw things went. This is going to be still a trend, I think, until mid 2026. So especially like with the housing market, I think it's just going to stay up until that. And then it's just going to go down, like business wise, social wise, financially wise. There's going to be a regulation from 2026 onwards. Now we're not there yet. So things that may change is like in the sense of, so we know Uranus is like, okay, society changed. So there are some things on a collective level regarding the topic of Taurus that have to change. So paying gap, right? It's like we've been having this conversation around, we're doing the same things with men and women. Like why are we getting paid less? This is going to be a big topic. Universal basic income could be another one. And also unpredictable things around the market. I know that some of you might have the question, okay, Georgia, what about the Bitcoin? I'm not an expert on that. I'm not a financial astrologer. But the thing is, by 2025, we're going to see how much of the crypto is going to stay and how much is going to go. And I think some of the currencies that are going to be there to stay are going to be new ones. Not something that was here before. It's going to be something new, because that's what Jupiter and Uranus bring. So when we're looking at this on a personal level, so you see, it's like, for example, Stevie Wonder is going to have a very interesting year in 2024, because I was looking at, like, you see, this is going to be the conjunction. This is how it looks like. And it's going to be exact on his Sun Mercury. So for sure, we're going to hear about him. I hope for nice reasons. I mean, it's in the 8th house. Let's see. But you see, for some people is stronger. So look at the house in which Taurus is located, but especially where is 21 of Taurus. Because that area, and in general, the house in which also Taurus is located, there is movement, and it's quick. Because Uranus is like a thunder. So you can have opportunities, surprises. I mean, in terms of astrology, we're having this expansion January until June, July, and then we're going to have to stabilize a bit. So it's going to be like this, and then it's going to be a bit like that. And then we're going to have this big crisis like November and December. So it's better to invest in the first part of the year. So if you're having planets in Taurus, this is your moment. It's like this planet is going to be awakened and changed in a way you haven't seen coming. So you see, when we're talking about Pluto, it's like, okay, if you feel you're in your own power, you're ready to go out there, right? with Uranus, the invitation is to think in a very multidimensional way. You know, maybe someone is proposing you something, it's like, oh God, no, it's not my thing. That attitude doesn't work. And there is even more interesting because if you think about Taurus, like Aquarius is a fixed sign. Taurus is the sign that likes change the most, right? It's just like Taurus and change is like, give me my food, let me do my thing, let me have my routine, let me have my own budget, get out of my way. So when we're bringing these two in, it's just like, it's bringing a shift that, wow, we haven't seen happening before. Okay. I'm just going to look at the chat. Saturn, Neptune, city swallowed by the waters because of the melting. Yeah, I think this. Yeah. With the waters, for sure, there are gonna be some issues. There was already something going on, like when Neptune went stationary in Pisces, like a couple of weeks ago in Japan. There's been a problem like with dead fish. There was just dead fish everywhere, and there is the risk that also some people won't manage to have enough food, and it was exactly when Neptune went stationary. So there's going to be lots of topics around the issue with water, or I would even think probably some sort of contaminations of water, and think like about solutions around that. My Jupiter-Uranus transit is an 8th house opposite my sun. You see, like here, Camilla is writing, is opposite my sun, Mercury, Mars, and Pluto in the second. So we could say that this year for sure is going to bring a massive change. So when it's on the other side, so meaning there are lots of planets in Scorpio. So those of you that have planets in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 in Scorpio, it's going to have this energy from the opposite side. So there is something that you're going to have to check in with yourself, that you're going to have to release, something that you're going to have to learn how to share, because we are coming from the other side. Because Scorpio also, we in the axis, we're having the same issue from two different levels. So the question is, for strong Scorpio people, is like, how can you find foundations in these two areas of your life? You have to create some structures. It's not here, I'm just going to go to Bali and fuck it. Bali, maybe the following year. Taurus in the 9th and the 10th house, and Saturn on 19. So again, here, there's like big things that like need to take place around the 9th and 10th house. So something about work, you want to be, how you want to be in power. Again, Taurus. So maybe touching also your Saturn, maybe that you get proposed like something which are more responsibility, but also you got to get paid more. What do you want to do about that? Do you want to accept that? Yeah, so in my case, it's in the 3rd house. I think I'm just going to finally write the book. Amen. So just look at that place, because this is the biggest activation we can have this year. So 20, 21, 22 degrees of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, because Virgo and Capricorn are both earth signs. So they're really going to benefit out of that. If you're having planets in these degrees, this is the moment in which you can push. Because there are moments in which we have to rest. There are moments in which we have to do our business. We have moments in which we have to review, and moments in which it's like, go, my dear, go. These are yours. So we are ready to launch something, and it's Uranus. It doesn't require too much preparation. It's Jupiter. It's about faith. Yeah, George, I want to launch this thing, but I'm not sure I got enough this or that. It doesn't matter. It's already there. It's in the space. Just launch it. Just do it. It's a good moment to do it. Then more Jupiter moments, because some of you usually ask me, it's like, oh, you know, can you draw some nice, powerful dates? Here you go. So first of all, we got the 18th of May. So the Sun conjoins Jupiter, meaning they're making a sandwich, what we call kazimi. This is an amazing day for your self-confidence. For if you want to launch something, if you want to start something, if you want to co-create with, if you're just looking for an energy. So, okay, let me tell you also something around that. The moment in which you're launching things astrologically is going to give you the vibe of the whole event itself. For example, today, you know, I could have done the forecast on the 30th, on the 2nd, or on the 5th. I was like, 30th, I mean, do I want to do this doing a retrograde if I can choose? No, really. I was like, the 2nd is still a bit risky because it's just going to go direct. So it's going to be a couple of issues. was like that, still went for that. The 50 would have been the easiest one, right? So that's the idea, like there are some days astrologically that are easier than others to do certain things. Second one, this is probably, you see, let's go very, because Jupiter loves to excess. This is probably the most energetic day of the year beside the Sun, Uranus on a personal level. So Jupiter is making a trine with Pluto, so with the gangster, right? So Pluto has to do with power, expansion, trine, we love each other. So the expansion is super intense. Strategic planning, making investments. If you're thinking about something big, if you got something in your hands that's like could really change collective stuff, that's your day, okay? And then we got the 14th of August. So Mars is in conjunction with Jupiter. I mean, here is a bit more tense, like you got this steroid, you got this courage. It's like, yeah, I could do anything I want. Great here, you know, also let's just breathe. But another powerful day. So you see the first part, also in February, there are lots of openings. And then after August, we start slowly going down. So I would suggest you like to launch things in this first part. Then why stuff is changing? Because Saturn comes in. Great. Party pooper is just like fun is over. So you see, you got this part in which is like, yeah, dream, just do whatever you want. And Saturn is like, okay, just slow down. Let's see what we got. Let's breathe in. So in 2020, we started this new cycle 4 years ago in December, 1 degree of Aquarius. And again, we got Pluto now in the same degree. So again, 0 to degree Aquarius, very intense. So we are setting the stage for the things that happened in the last 4 years. Because Jupiter is like, So last 4 years, new ways of seeing things, new beliefs, this beginning of the year, you're having all these ideas and things that you've been channeling, want to bring into the world. Great. But now observe what you're doing. Because also it's going to be retrograde. So this process is going to come in 2 times, first in August and in December. It's adjustment. We had to adapt. We have to observe. So this is a moment in which we want to slow down a bit, okay? It's not about scarcity mindset. Nothing is going to work, but work requires effort. That's Saturn, because what it might happen is that, you do a couple of things and it's just flowing. And then you take for granted, let's say I'm going to do my course in March. And like the one in March is going to be great. And then I'm going to do something in June and it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to be like, wow, everything I do is just going to be so powerful. Then I'm going to do something in August or September. Their reaction is not going to be probably as strong because collectively this enthusiasm is going to go down. But then your mind is going to be like, oh, wow, I've done something wrong now. No, there is a shift. It's like maybe all this big enthusiasm that was there is not going to be there anymore. Okay. So don't take that personally. Adjust accordingly. Jupiter is in conjunct Uranus near my MC. Then Jupiter moves into my 10th house, Venus. Will I get rich? So that's the thing. We have to look, if you want to go deeper into the analysis, you have to see the aspects of your Venus in your natal chart. Because if your Venus is making those blue lines, what we call trines, sextiles, and conjunction, it's easier. If your Venus is having some issues, Jupiter is going to bring them up and work with them. So there is a great possibility for expansion and be seen and be recognized publicly. But then with Venus, the question is, financially wise, have you done the work within yourself in which you can deal with finances in a way that is good? Or there is a scarcity mindset? So that's the bit you have to look at. So again, here, we want to look at your natal chart. So we want to look at the place in which Jupiter is located. And now we're going to go even deeper with Jupiter in Gemini in a moment. But for now, first, I want you to observe what is the fight? Because Saturn is going to be in Pisces, okay, here, between like 10, 14 degrees. And Jupiter is going to be here in Gemini. around again those first degrees of Gemini. So the two houses in which, let's say in this example, so here Jupiter in the 5th is about art, creativity, hobbies, pleasure. It's just like, oh, you have to get very focused in your own art, right? So this is what Saturn is saying. On the other end, Jupiter in the 9th house is like, yeah, just apply to all the schools. Of course, they're going to get you. Just like, yeah, you've done these creative things. You ready to teach somewhere? Maybe you are, maybe you are not. So there is an adjustment, you just have to see, it's some sort of balance that we have to find. Because if I'm going too much Jupiter in the 9th house, I want to do all the trips, I'm going to go all the places, disseminating all my art. Saturn here in the 5th is going to be like, wait. You're also going to be in your atelier, your studio, doing the artistic work. Just don't think about traveling. You see the dynamic here? So be careful about giving enough space to both, because we tend to connect more, of course, with Jupiter because we love pleasure and expansion, and we tend to avoid Saturn. Let's not do that, because Saturn is connected with the knees and is going to come with this invisible nice wooden stick on your knees and going to put on your knees. And we don't want that, right? Because then it's not this external authority. Saturn represents your inner authority when it's not integrated. Makes sense? More or less? I know